What we're talking about in today's class is commentary. It's in the introduction. All right. So you have your introduction. You should start out with your hook. The hook is very most important to get the reader's attention. But then you're not done with your introduction because your introduction needs to have your hook, commentary, and then your thesis statement. All right. Now you should know what your thesis statement is for your hook because your hook should be related to your thesis statement, and the commentary is going to explain why. But all of this is in the introduction. So we're talking about paragraph number 1 of your essay. Commentary is the part in your introduction where you explain and connect your hook to your thesis statement. It's basically your thinking. Why does the hook tie into it? The hook grabs the attention, the commentary explains the situation and leads you to your main point, which was what you're trying to prove in your paper, which is your thesis statement. It puts the meaning in context. It connects that context to the bigger idea of what is going to be in your thesis statement. So it's like, what does this story show? What is it relating to? And that's your commentary, right? That's the middle part of your introduction. So if you have an anecdotal hook, for example, the clock read 1:47 a.m. and I was still staring at my glowing laptop screen, trying to finish an assignment that was due in just a few hours. So we know there's a problem there. Look down at the thesis statement. They're trying to talk about schools should reduce the amount of homework they assign because of excessive workloads, increase stress, limit sleep, and negatively impact students' overall well-being. So that's what they're trying to prove. So their anecdotal hook, which is the best kind of hook to have, their anecdotal hook is a story of a kid who's going through that. Okay? It's not talking about it, it's showing it through a story about somebody who is up late or early in the morning, not late at night, but early in the morning, trying to get through homework. Okay? And so that's the story. You start out with the story, and the reader's like, well, that's interesting. And before you can get to, the argument of we need less homework, you need to connect that because it would just be a big jump. Like, okay, we got a story, now homework, and I'm trying to figure it out. You need commentary. And what commentary does is connect those two things. So we have our first example of the few hours. The commentary explains it. Situations like this have become increasingly common for students who are expected to juggle homework, extracurricular activities, personal responsibilities all at once. The impact of the amount of expectation reduces the quality of student life. So they've explained it. That's what the commentary is. And now they hit their main point. Okay? So you have the hook, commentary, thesis. And that's what goes in your introduction. Now, what it should end up looking like is this right here, where your hook is that first piece, and then the commentary is that part that's in purple there, and then the thesis statement at the end. It's all one paragraph, and it's all one introduction. Now, if you notice in the hook, they use the word I because you're telling a story. It's an anecdotal hook, which is the best kind of hook, by the way. And after you tell that story, the rest of the essay shouldn't be I, me, we. It shouldn't be that, because what the essay is about is schools should reduce the amount of homework they assign. And that's not I. That's not the reader, we, me, you. None of those words should be used. But in the hook, it's okay, but the rest of it shouldn't be. And as you can see, you have your hook, and you have your commentary, which explains it in context and connects it to your thesis statement. Hope that helps. Have a good day.